Good evening, everyone. My name is Marquez Traylor, and I am a proud student of the Kemmons Wilson's Culinary Institute. And I have the privilege and the honor to be in the presence of greatness, the one and only Chef, the author. How you doing, Chef?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for asking. So we know that you're here to teach us about cooking and all that good stuff, and I'm ready to eat. So let's get right into the Q&A.
Let's do it.
So if you would, for those who don't know you, give us a little bit background about you.
All right. So, my name is Desmond Robinson. I am from Memphis, Tennessee, born and raised, Whitehaven specifically. I grew up with my parents, Arthur and Denise Robinson, and my little brother, Amon. Always been a really creative kid. I was not really into sports and all the other kind of stuff. I always gravitated towards the arts, whether that be music, arts, and in this case, culinary arts. I've always been fascinated by food and the way it was presented. And so that was kind of my upbringing. Anything that was kind of creative, I was trying to do. And that kind of took on its life through food.
Awesome. So we've got the bio of you online, and you mentioned you come from a family of amazing culinary talent. So if you would give us a little deep insight about that.
Oh, my family can burn. I would like to say that like I just kind of popped out of nowhere and could cook. I actually wouldn't like to say that because it would be so dishonest. Like everybody in my family, not everybody, but most people can cook very, very well. And even entrepreneurship wise, a lot of food businesses have come out of my family from Memphis to Dallas. My great grandmother, my dad's mom used to be a nutritionist. My great grandmother used to do ribs and stuff back in the day. My family had a restaurant in Dallas. My aunt has a restaurant here. My mom can cook down. You know, it literally all over the place. The food was just kind of in my blood. And so I can't take all the credit.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, same for me. You know, I family, great grandmother.
I mean, you know, you're from Memphis. We eat good down here.
Yes, nothing like good Southern cooking. So tell us about your educational background.
You know, I'm very proud too. So I told you I'm from Whitehaven. So I went to Whitehaven High School. But then I had the honor of coming to the University of Memphis, where I had an amazing experience. I spent 4.5 years here. I was a communication major. We did not have this very, very lovely culinary program back in 2003 through 7. So I'm really excited to see all of this. But yeah, I got my bachelor's at the University of Memphis, where I was very, very involved. I did have a brief tenure in culinary school. I went to the Art Institute of Atlanta, but unfortunately that was a bit too expensive for me. And so I went to grad school to LSU on an assistantship, got my master's there, and actually came back to work at the University of Memphis, where I worked for about 2 years in student support services trio. So that's a little bit about my educational background.
Okay, awesome. So this journey that you're on for as your career being a private chef for athletes, tell us what pushed you, what geared you in that direction.
So I always wanted to be a chef. Even when I was a little kid, I always wanted to be a chef. I remember my mom letting me taste all of the seasonings in her seasoning cabinet. And I remember being so fascinated that all of these different bottles have different functions and different flavors. And if you pair the right combination of them together, it's perfect. But if you put too much of this or too much of that or too much of that, it throws the whole thing off. So I was very captivated by that very early. And so I think it started from there, and then it went from, rather than me just heating leftovers up in the microwave, I was hooking it up on the stove, trying to repurpose them, reconstruct them. I didn't know that reconstructing food was a thing at the time, but that's definitely what I was doing. And it just blossomed very organically from there. Fast forward, there was not a lot of information about culinary school when I was graduating in 2003. And so I ended up at the University of Memphis and still really wanting to be a chef. I graduated from college, got a job that I would absolutely despised and hated and was depressed and all of that bad stuff. And so I quit the job, moved to Atlanta, went to culinary school. That didn't work out. So I went to grad school, came back to work at the University of Memphis. Now I have a job that I love, but I still want to cook. And I couldn't figure that out. And I hopped on the phone with a chef who was in LA at the time, who really inspired me. She didn't have a culinary degree. she hadn't gone to culinary school, but she was cooking for all of these movie sets and stuff in LA. And she really inspired me. She said, start cooking everywhere you go. Everywhere you go, cook something, because I don't know what happened from that, but eventually people will become to know you as the guy who can cook really, really well. I hopped off the phone with her, and one of my friends, actually one of your chapter brothers, had a pop-up shop, a fashion show coming up, and I asked him, could I cook for it? He said, I don't have a budget. I said, I'll do it for free. Got some cheap business cards made, went to Walmart, got some cheap linens, made the table look nice, and I made chicken lasagna cupcakes for the first time. And people took those cheap business cards and thought I was like a legitimate business, and people started calling and calling and calling, and they haven't stopped since. From there, it just kind of kept going and going and going and going to the point that I had to like quit my full-time gig and to do it full-time. And since then, I've traveled all over the world cooking for athletes, musicians, clients abroad. I just got back from Aruba the other day cooking. So it's just, you know, it's been a very, very amazing journey. But it all started from that phone call. I guess it started before that phone call, but that was the big shift.
Wow. Wow, that's amazing. So what do you love most about your job?
About my job?
Well, I would say career.
Ooh. I like that I am able to, as a traveling personal chef, I get to be with different clients all the time. I get to be in different kitchens all the time. A lot of times if you see me in like a cool kitchen, I might say like kitchen of the week or kitchen of the weekend, because there's so many different type of cool kitchens, so many different cool clients, so many different palates to please. It's just, I love all of the variety and all of the adventure and all of the people and all of the different circumstances that my career has taken me in. It's a lot better than sitting in an office or sitting in a cubicle. For me, my personality didn't do well in that space. And so now, even when I was a private chef for a little bit and I was working for these same people all the time, they were amazing. But I found that like, I don't like the routine of having to do the same thing all the time. I love the spontaneity and the adventure of being able to come and go and do and please. And so that's the coolest part.
Awesome. Yeah. Yeah. So describe to us your cooking style.
My cooking style is like something your grandmama would make, but you would find it looks like you would find it on the menu at a 5-star restaurant.
Mm.
So it's like grandmama level, that good, hearty, girthy, stick to your rib food made elegantly.
Wow. That's impressive. So, what are you most proud of while doing this?
While doing this?
Well, your career.
So to this point, I cooked for Anita Baker a couple of years ago for Thanksgiving. She was on tour here in Memphis, and they were here for a Wednesday show and a Friday show, and they were stuck here for Thanksgiving. And so her tour manager at the time was one of my homeboys and was like, bro, we need you to cook. And I was like, Anita Baker needs me. I have to stop what I'm doing. And so to this point, that was the highlight. But I think this is the highlight. You know, being a former University of Memphis student, I was super, super, super involved. BSA president, chapter president, Mr. U of M, all of that kind of stuff. And they didn't have a culinary school back then. I really, really wanted to go to culinary school, but I feel like God shifted me to the University of Memphis and gave me another amazing experience. And then my culinary journey did something else on its own. And so now this feels like the perfect marriage of those two experiences finally kind of. So I think this is it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. That's great. So do you have any big projects that's coming up?
Yeah. There's some of them that I can't talk about yet.
Okay.
For legal reasons, but I can't wait till I can. There are others that you just gotta wait for the promo to come out. But follow me on Instagram, chef_D'Arthur. That's DARTHUR. And my website is www.chefdarthur.com. You can subscribe on there for updates. And actually, a lot of really cool things are coming. I just want them to be right where they need to be before I tell everybody about it. But it's coming very, 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 very soon.
Awesome. Awesome. I can't wait because you know I'm following. Let's see here. What advice would you give us who's looking to venture out and follow our passion?
To do just that, venture out and follow your passion. And I think, so for example, we live in Memphis, right? A lot of people in Memphis can really, really sing. and probably want to be professional singers and have the talent to do it. But there's a difference between the person who believes that they're good enough to be a professional singer and the person who believes that they're going to be a professional singer. Those are two different people, right? And so I guess my advice to you is be the person who has decided that that's what you're going to be. If you want to be a chef, a personal chef, a celebrity chef, whatever that is for you, whatever that thing is, be that. Don't just think that you're good enough. Don't want it bad. Don't just dream about it, but be the person who actually decides that this is what I'm going to make happen for my life and make it happen. And if you are that person and you're aligned spiritually, whatever that looks like for you, you got you're working on yourself and you're just kind of being a good person out in the universe, sowing good seeds, I think everything will align for that to happen for you.
Awesome. Well, that comes to the end of the Q&A.
Now we get to eat, huh?
Yes, we get to eat. Let's burn.